The smash hit crowd-funded driving game returns, with more cars, more tracks, and the most realistic weather system ever seen. Games in Box. Do you have a favorite video game publisher? A decade or so ago, driving games were one of the most popular types of video game around. There's an argument that they haven't got less popular, it's just that other genres have become more successful, but either way there just doesn't seem to be as many as there used to be. And ordinary gamers seem to be increasingly less interested in the ones that are left. There's some small signs of a turnaround this year, with a new Need for Speed, Gran Turismo Sport, and the yearly Forza, but it'd be a work of optimism to think of it as any kind of renaissance for the genre. But whether you're talking about video games, movies, or any other obsession, you can always count on the fans to keep things going even when the big companies deem them unprofitable or unfashionable. Both Project Cars games have used crowdfunding to get themselves made. The name stands for Community Assisted Racing Simulator, if you're wondering why it's all in capitals, and you can't doubt for an instant the passion and dedication of British developer Slightly Mad Studios. The game's tight budget is obvious at times, but the amount of hard graft and attention of detail makes up for almost everything. This is a game in love with the concept of driving, and not since Codemasters' heyday a decade or so ago has a game gone to such effort to cram in almost every form of motorsport it can think of. The eagerness of Project Cars 2 to do absolutely everything creates problems in a number of ways, not least in terms of adding an approachable structure to the game. The original had a very bare-bones career mode that only seemed to emphasize that this is a game for petrol heads and nobody else. The sequel acknowledges this problem, and although you're still free to switch from any series, from IndyCar to Rallycross to karting, whenever you want, it does now offer a curated path through its labyrinth of options, with invitationals to unlock and manufacturers to earn favor with. Compared to its big-budget rivals, the career mode is still pretty basic stuff, but it is a useful step forward. Which pretty much sums up the sequel as a whole. The handling was a particular issue the first time round, and made the game almost unplayable on a normal joypad. It's still a little loose, and the cars don't seem to have quite the weight they should, but using a steering wheel has been reduced from a necessity to merely a preference. Graphically, the game also shows some significant progress, and is one area where it more than holds its own against its bigger budget rivals. In particular, the weather effects are probably the best ever seen in a driving game, or any game come to that, right down to puddles forming and drying during the course of a race. The physics engine in general is also greatly improved, and the way the temperature and surface of the road is modeled is mind-bogglingly clever. The volume of content certainly wasn't an issue with the first game, but it's been increased anyway. There are now over 180 cars from 38 manufacturers, which includes important new additions such as Porsche, Jaguar, Honda, Volkswagen, and Nissan. There's also 46 different tracks, and more than twice as many layouts, including major real-world locations such as Knock Hill, Fuji Speedway, and Long Beach. What is a problem though is the artificial intelligence, which is so inconsistent it can begin to make racing against the computer seem like a waste of time. 1 minute your opponent's flawless racing machines that are near impossible to compete against, and the next they're all crashing out of the first corner. Waiting to see which it's going to be. Each race is an unwanted element of extra tension unless the weather is bad, in which case you already know the computer hasn't got a chance. But Project Cars isn't the #1 driving game in esports for nothing, so there's certainly not going to be any shortage of people and options to play online. Although that can't make up for the other bugs and glitches. Most will no doubt be sorted out in fairly short order, but the problems with the disappearing racing line indicator are particularly unfortunate, as that hurts the least experienced players. It was always crazy for such a small team to create such an ambitious game, but despite a few potholes this succeeds better than it has any right to. It is certainly a better game than the original, and while it can't compete with the mega budgets of Forza and Gran Turismo, in terms of the amount of content, and a palpable love of motor racing, this is at least their equal. In short, a definite improvement on the original, and despite some still notable flaws, this is a wonderfully varied playground for motorsport fans of every kind. Pros: the attention to detail, in terms of the cars, tracks, and physics is superb. Fantastic weather effects and a huge range different race disciplines. Robust set of online options. Cons: the handling model is still a little loose, especially on joypads. Highly inconsistent artificial intelligence that's often either super competent or barely able to drive. Score: 810 formats, PlayStation 4 reviewed, Xbox One and PC price £49.99. Publisher: Bandai Namco Entertainment. Developer: Slightly Mad Studios. Release date: the 22nd of September 2017. Age rating 3. Email GameCentral@acmetro.co.uk. Leave a comment below and follow us on Twitter.